In this course, we'll spend considerable time in writing computer programs and analyzing data from heat conduction equation, which is also known as diffusion equation. So in this lecture, let us first see how the diffusion equation is actually deduced from the first law of thermodynamics. The first law of thermodynamics, as you know, is the law of energy conservation. It tells us that in a closed system, the rate of change of energy E is given by the rate of heat input minus rate of work output. Now consider this control volume. This is an arbitrary shaped control volume, and the boundary of this control volume is what we call the CS, which is control surface. N is an unit normal vector over control surface, and Q is the heat flux at the surface. We also assume that this control volume is impermeable to mass. That means this is just like thermodynamics, closed system. Now we are interested to study energy conservation in this simple control volume. So we write the energy equation, that is dE dt is q dot in minus w dot out, and then this capital E we write as integral Cv E dV, where E is energy per unit volume. It is integrated over the entire volume, gives us the capital E. Q, that is coming through the control surface, is given by N dA dot Q integrated over the entire control surface. We don't know much about the work, so we simply write that at Q triple prime dV. You are already familiar with this Q triple prime and you know that this is the heat generation, so you may be wondering that what heat generation has to do with work. But then work in many ways are associated with heat, such as if we are heating the mass here through an electrical wire, then that comes as an electrical work. If the mass is getting heated through chemical reaction, that comes as chemical work. So you can treat this as a source term, this W dot out. Now this ddt, we can take that inside this integral simply by writing del E del T. This is something that we know as Leibniz rule. Those details are not necessary. Only you can recall that as we insert ddt inside the integral, it will become the partial derivative. And then on the other side, we wish to change the surface integral to volume integral, and we can do so by using Gauss divergence theorem. In Gauss divergence theorem, this N dA dot Q will become Q dot del dot Q dV. So now that we have three volume integral, we take them together on left side, and when we put them together, we have del E dt plus del dot Q minus Q triple prime dV, which is 0. Now this control volume is arbitrarily chosen. To deduce this equation, we have never assumed anything about the particular nature of control volume, because the geometry is arbitrary, and over that geometry all integral goes to 0. That means that what is here within this first bracket is 0. That means that this del E del T plus del dot Q minus Q triple prime is 0, and this is the most fundamental form of energy equation when we assume that there is no mass exchange through the control surface, which is the only assumption that we have made so far. Now what we do, we take some particular laws. First of all, we take this energy small e as rho Ct, that is density specific heat multiplied by temperature, and this heat flux Q we take it as minus K and temperature gradient, where K is thermal conductivity. You all know that this is known as Fourier's law. If I plug these two in, then I get this equation del del T of rho Ct equals del dot K del T plus Q triple prime. Now let us take one more assumption, and let us just assume that we'll deal with constant property material here. So for constant properties, the energy equation, this rho C and K will come out of derivative. That means this rho C del T equals K del square T plus Q triple prime, and then I divide both sides by rho C. So I get this del T equals alpha del square T plus Q triple prime by rho C, where alpha is K by rho C, that is the thermal diffusivity. This is the general equation of heat conduction when we assume that the properties K, rho, C are constant. In three-dimensional Cartesian coordinate, this del square, which is the Laplacian, will be given by del 2 del x2 plus del 2 del y2 plus del 2 del z2. In two-dimensional case, we will drop the last part and we will have only del 2 del x2, del 2 del y2. In one dimension, we drop the second part as well, and it will come del 2 del x2. This looks nice, and over next few weeks, we will deal with this one-dimensional unsteady heat conduction equation that is given by del T is alpha del 2T del x2 plus Q triple prime rho C. Please note that even though it is one-dimensional, we still have a partial differential equation, since temperature is a function of both time and x. Now for your exercise, what you do, you grab a textbook on heat transfer, and then you will see most probably that the energy equation is deduced by energy balance in a regular shaped infinitesimal volume. So you take this volume, and then at every surface you take a heat flux, and then you balance what is coming in, what is going out, and how much is the change of energy within the control volume, and you should be able to get the heat conduction equation as you have seen here. This is the most general way of deduction, and when you take a regular volume, that is kind of a particular way. Once you are okay with this exercise in Cartesian coordinate, you go to a cylindrical coordinate system and you do the same thing. You derive the energy equation for a cylindrical coordinate system. Once you are okay with both Cartesian and cylindrical system, you can now go to a spherical system and derive the energy equation. Although this exercise may look trivial right now and may look unnecessary, if you do it, you will learn a lot about energy balance, which will help you in this course as well as in your heat transfer course. That's all for this lecture. Thank you, and I'll see you in next class.